I think Putin is misunderstood. I think he's a misunderstood man.
They want to put the Tates away forever now. They've literally linked him to Vladimir Putin and Russia.
Do I go to Russia? Hello, pilot. Moscow, please.
The UK authorities are now investigating him over terrorism links because they was out training in military style in Russia, and this case is taking another wild turn. So Andrew Tate and Tristan have now been referred to the counter-terrorism police after they visited Russia and took part in military training, in what a Conservative MP says could be a breach of foreign influence laws. And Alyssa Kern has written to the Home Office and referred this matter to counter-terrorism policing, arguing there are grounds to examine whether the brothers were required to register under the Foreign Influencer Registration Scheme, the FIRS, as part of national security. They put this law in place and it requires individuals to register to certain arrangements where they carry out activities in the UK under the direction of or for specified foreign powers. In a 40-minute long video posted across various online accounts, Andrew and Tristan can be seen traveling to Russia. This was back in June. They visited the iconic landmarks and were there for a while. They played chess in Chess Square, where Andrew and Tristan made jokes about George.
These niggas done everything. I thought they were doing webcam shit. I saw them in Romania. Now I saw someone say they were part of the Romanian mafia. Now this Russian
Floyd and was flexing
cage fighters, casinos, the amount of shit. Fucking hell.
wealth. Upon arrival in Russia, they were greeted by a group of men and women wearing traditional clothing who encouraged the pair to dance and sing. Throughout the video, the Tate brothers share facts about Russia. There was a long segment on the video showing Andrew and Tristan dressed in military-style camouflage and body armor, wearing helmets and eye protection, and several clips of the Russian flag patches as they took part in a series of battlefield-style activities in a training ground in Russia. The brothers were riding around and seen inside of what could be identified as a serious level TATBF main battle tank, a gas turbine powered vehicle.
But when man were going Israel and doing up shooting in Bosnia and them thing, where was the outrage there? Tristan can't fight, he's a bitch tap to punch his mind games.
Still used by Russian forces in Ukraine and armed in military service with a 125mm smoothbore main gun, as well as a stripping and reassembling pattern assault rifle. Other footage shows Tate being given the opportunity to use a grenade launcher and operating what is described as a flamethrower. The brothers were filmed singing Russian songs closely associated with the Soviet wartime era.
Imagine the content. This was all just content, and now it's being used against you in a court of law. Fool.
Then it was definitely not a coincidence that Candace Owens as well and her partner were out there saying how good Russia is as well.
I don't think Russia told Candace to do it, and I know you.
I like Candace, AC.
You lightly alluded to a theory,
Candice, whichever one it is,
that somehow her and I were getting paid by Russia or something. I can tell you from personal experience that's absolutely not the case. So, yeah, they jumped on it, but I don't think that takes away any of the validity of what she's doing. You're right in saying that absolutely everything is run by the intel agencies. That is correct. We're in a permanent and endless state of never-ending war.
The footage posted during their June visit was presented online as military training and showed the pair surrounded by men in military-style uniform as they were instructed through various exercises. They were jokingly told whoever completes the obstacle course the fastest will win a special medal from the Minister.
I know, OT, these times she's fully married and that, you know.
of Defense of Russia. Ms. Kearns alleges the trip raises questions about whether the brothers were acting under direction or received payment from the Russian state and therefore should have registered under the Foreign Influence Registration Scheme. But no authority has made any finding that the Tate brothers breached the legislation or neither brother has been charged for an offense of it. Both Andrew and Tristan categorically deny allegations made by Ms. Kearns. A representative for the brothers told LBC that their visit to Russia was private and personal, and they received no payment, compensation or financial assistance or even direction from the Russian state, and that they did not deliver any Russian government talking points. The Tory MP told the LBC it's quite clear that when the Tate brothers travelled to Russia, they were part of some sort of junket for essentially Putin apologists and useful idiots. They were pumping out Russian propaganda. There was no question about it. And that's why I think it's so important they need to register themselves as agents working for the Russian state.
Oh, she's married to Tate's mate. Is that facts? I didn't know that.
There are allegations made by Ms. Kearns. No evidence has been produced that the brothers were paid or acted in the direction of the Russian state.
In countries which are very patriotic, even Russia, for example, and I'll make this clear, I'm a born American, my father served, I am an American, I love America. I'm unhappy with a lot of their policies and a lot of the things they're doing, but I'm an American.
Yeah, me
and
too.
this is my first time in Russia and I'm visiting, but you see that Russia
Between the pair of them, not a pair of socks in sight, you know.
doing, but I'm an American.
Yeah, me
and this
too.
is my first time in Russia and I'm visiting, but you see that Russia is a very patriotic nation and they don't fear having a masculine population because masculinity and patriotism go hand in hand. And Russia, to a degree, is a sovereign state where you know that if you have patriotic masculine men, you're going to protect Russia. But the problem is in a lot of other Western countries across the entire globe now is that if you have patriotic masculine men, they're going to look around and realize that their country's bought and sold, that it's all international finance, that it's all the Wall Street bankers and BlackRock and all these hedge funds. And they're going to say, you know what, we're going to stop this gravy train. We want to take our country back. And that is why they try their very best to prevent masculinity and prevent patriotism. The two things.
Talking masculinity to a man sitting like that is mind games. I'm not even going to lie. Even this arrangement here with the... I'm not going to lie, this is peculiar.
That you think a country would want to protect itself. In these Western countries, especially in Europe, they prevent that specifically because it would end the gravy train of these international bankers, which are just living off of the trading of currencies and doing no work and enjoying a great life.
Tristan in particular shared several posts on X over the last years that expressed pro-Russia settlement and repeated talking points.
This nigga's got himself in so much fucking trouble just doing shit on the internet. If it's not the scrape or the essay or the... You're doing Russian... Oh, my days.
About Ukraine war and NATO. In one dated 23rd of October 2025, he questioned why people of Poland are scared of Russia when it was the USSR that was hostile towards them. He said Ukraine must join NATO because Russia will never attack NATO. Also, give Zelensky money because Russia is done with Ukraine. He's going to attack NATO next. You warmongers don't sound as smart as you think you do. And he also said there is zero genuine reason why the West and Russia cannot just be friends and live in peace. Russia is a manufactured boogeyman, held accountable for crimes of the USSR which no longer exist. We do not hold the modern Turks, Brits, French or Germans accountable for the crime. But Russia, we do. Why? Simple, because you can scare the Eastern Europeans with these stories. Their grandparents remember them. The global conflict can be justified. We should have let Russia join NATO when they made the offer. And the deputy chair in the Security Council of the Russia Federation actually responded to Tristan. Russia's new nuclear doctrine means NATO missiles fired against our country and could be deemed an attack by the bloc on Russia. Russia could retaliate with WMD against Ukraine and key NATO facilities, wherever they're located, and it means World War III. Tristan says we're relying on Russia to save the world. The current US administration does not represent us as we approved in our election. Please do not let these war hawks provoke you. Let the consequence of their stupidity be paid for and fixed by our peaceful administration. So look, you kind of see them twisting over and changing from supporting the Trump administration to more Russia here. That was him actually tweeting on November 19th.
Big up Marv, my boy. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're blessed.
There, the former Russian president, that we are relying on Russia to...
Glorified rich prostitutes and replaceable candies, Naomi Kim. Facts, how many crappy jails does he need to get tossed in before he learns? Facts.
Save the world. Ms. Kearns added the Tate brothers need to come clean. It's not what we're asking, but transparency. Did you take direction from the Russian state? Did you take money from the Russian state? I've written to the Minister of Security, Dan Jarvis, to ask him to investigate because it's the government's duty to investigate those who failed to register themselves. Ms. Kearns, the former chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, said the issue extended beyond the Tate brothers, arguing the law was designed to ensure transparency when online personalities may be promoting the interest of hostile foreign power.
I think Putin is misunderstood. I think he's a misunderstood man. I think that he's been in power for a very long time. I think he's extremely smart. I think he genuinely cares about Russia and Russians above other countries. We're living in a world now where it's very interesting to see European leaders self-implode and self-destruct their own gas prices, their own governments, their own businesses, their own populace's living standards because of some idealistic nation.
He chats too much, innit? I just like he chats too much.
Idealistic notion.
Like, no wonder why he has so much people onto him, and you chat too much. Like you say too much about topics that you know, like people that kind of in power. You don't want to go against them people because they'll cause an issue to you because he's chatting shit.
that they need to help a nation that they have no direct link to. If I'm a leader of X country, I should be concerned about X country more than I'm concerned about the plight of whatever country. That's my duty and job. I think it's very interesting that most politicians in the world today don't seem to give a shit at all about their constituents. They care about aligning themselves to higher ideologies and self-imploding their own countries and the living standards for this ideology.
Yeah.
Putin doesn't do that. It's Russia first, Russia.
She said the foreign interference and registration scheme exists because we know that foreign states are trying to influence our political system and our democracy. And obviously many of them are doing it in a hostile manner. Russia is one of them. This legislation is about transparency. If you want to take money from other people and you want to take direction from other states, that's your decision, but you have to register yourself with the Home Office so the public knows who you're working for. If you take money from the Russian state, if you take direction from them, it's really important because the state needs to know and who is helping.
Look at these fucking idiots, man. Look at these fucking idiots. Dance their way straight to a fucking jail cell.
Those who are threatening our security and safety. We're about to fly to Moscow.
Go to Moscow.
We're literally about to go. I need to tell my parents that I'm going to Russia.
Wait up. I'm going to tell your parents you're not coming back.
People said about Andrew Tate sucking up to Donald
Oh, is that AI?
Trump and him not helping him out when he got arrested, but even more, he's praised constantly Putin online.
He looks like ham. Or gammon. Knitted gammon.
And the way he handles himself.
I think a lot of people expected Putin to sit and tell those of the West the same things he tells Russian state media. And by the way, that's censored in the West. So we live in a free society, but they don't show Putin's speeches. They don't show Russian news. They don't show their view on anything ever. They only show one side of the story. But he'll say to the Russian populace that the West is run by Satanists, the West is run by pedophiles, they're trying to inject LGBT and transgender ideology to children, their leaders don't listen to them and have no interest in the people themselves and are stealing all the money and money laundering. He'll say all these things, but when he was in front of Tucker speaking to a Western audience, he refused. He gave a long history lesson that he knew nobody would really be that interested in, and he tippy-toed around questions, and I think he did that on purpose.
The amount of different ways that the UK are coming at them, they've got rape charges, human trafficking charges, they've got tax issues over here and stuff ongoing with finances and now political as well. They're literally going to pose them as a national security threat. And it's obviously LBC, this is government controlled media that are pushing out these articles. But the Russian state, you can find trips online where you can do these immersive experiences. And they said it was through a personal experience, but they actually did respond to them as well. The brothers' representative told the LBC Andrew and Tristan traveled to Russia for a private and personal reasons. They've already stated it publicly on multiple occasions, and that the visit was personal and they received no payment, financial assistance, logistical support, or any direction from Russia. Not even no Russian government bodies or
All that coming from the guy that was selling courses and how to run a webcam business is mad.
acted on their behalf with the Russian state. They didn't even attend or speak at any state-organized political events, and internationally did not attend the St. Petersburg into any state-organized and acted on their behalf.
So I understand what their suspicions are. Why they going over here being greeted like this if they're not in. I see what they're saying.
With the Russian state. They didn't even attend or speak at any state-organized political events, and internationally did not attend the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum.
Makes you wonder whose proposition to Tate's into fame and popularity. No one reaches that level without backing from a powerful government.
Despite inaccurate reporting at the time suggesting they were in attendance, and they weren't provided with any Russian government talking point, and they were not instructed to promote any Russian government message, and they did not act under direction or control of foreign powers. Apparently the public messaging they gave during the visit was also clear. Serious countries should take each other seriously, and people need to see changes in themselves rather than relying on the recycled media narratives. Dialogue matters, and countries should work towards peace rather than escalation. This is not propaganda, it's a basic statement in favor of a direct observation, dialogue and peace. On the facts, there were no proper basis to suggest Andrew or Tristan Tate were required to register under the UK Foreign Influence Registration Scheme because they weren't pushing propaganda.
There's so many things I want to say, but I don't
They're throwing so many charges at them that you know they're not getting away with it.
want to die.
They're getting guilty of something.
But there's truth. This can be proven and
Andrew Tate, the new accusations, in it, that Andrew Tate's are being accused of working with Russia. This is another thing to add to all the fucking other charges they got. But allegedly they're being accused or questioned on if a particular trip they took to Russia they were funded something. Toby Robinson in jail as well, swear down.
Shown, even with this current proxy war, Europe and all the gas prices and the inflation rate in Europe has gone to the moon to fund this proxy war in Ukraine. Why has this happened? Because America's in charge of everything, and America has decided that Europe has to bear the brunt of the bullshit for its proxy war. You're going to have higher gas prices, you're going to have inflation, you're going to have mass civil unrest, you're going to deal with it all. And we're going to sit over here and insulate ourselves because we have the global reserve currency. And the war is going to happen over there.
The statement also said there was no arrangement with a foreign power, no direction. If a Conservative MP has referred this matter to the counter...
Not looking good for these grifters nowadays. Yeah, exactly makes sense though. If the Tates are not being protected by Trump, Putin will definitely step in.
A terrorism policing without evidence that Andrew or Tristan were paid, directed, assisted, or instructed by the Russian state. The referral is deeply troubling and appears to be politically motivated attempt to weaponize national security language against two private individuals because a public figure dislikes optics of their travel and commentary.
Russia, here we are. They say it's difficult to come here. Maybe it used to be, but it really wasn't that hard to get here. So why not enjoy the place, you know? Think about it. Snow, bears. Look, all the snow.
True, yeah. I'm in a t-shirt.
Ever wrestled a bear?
Nah.
You're going to.
Yeah, I think Bailey Bear Wrestling?
Bailey Bear Wrestling.
All right.
For Tate Confidential.
Let's go.
I mean, we have to sign.
People who can just be so effortlessly corny like this, I think they're snakes, or like they're not straightforward people. For them to just say, hit record and do this little plastic thing here is insane. And for them to both play up to it like this.
For this.
No. This is 0% a joke on any level. You're wrestling a bear.
You're also going to have to change your face. I don't like it.
My face?
You have to put on your Russia face.
Exactly.
I don't know what that means.
In Russia, they say a smile without a reason is the sign of an idiot. And you're sitting there smiling. Why are you smiling, baby?
I don't have an answer to that.
No reason.
No rebuttal.
Told you.
Too happy.
Yeah.
Russians are happy on the inside, like me, you know?
Yeah, you never smile.
I'm spiritually Russian. I'm really happy inside, but you wouldn't know. Red Square. You know why it's called the Red Square?
I mean, I can probably put two and two together, but enlighten me,
Tell me
please.
why.
I don't
Tell me
think
why.
you will.
Go on.
Okay. If T says that, then I definitely don't.
So you don't know why?
No, I don't know why.
Because it's red.
Oh, gosh.
You're an,
Okay.
You're an idiot.
This is not how the law is supposed to work. Counterterrorism policing exists to protect the public from serious threats. It should not be used as a political complaint desk for MPs seeking headlines or trying to smear people they dislike. If an MP has made a referral without any evidence foundation, our clients reserve all the rights to ask the police of any relevant proceedings or parliamentary authorities to consider whether the referral was reckless, an abuse of the process, or a wasteful use of...
You and Candace went to Romania with Andrew Tate. Candace interviewed Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a
You and Candace went to Romania with Andrew Tate. Candace interviewed Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a very long time.
You've known Andrew Tate for a number of years. You were just with him for that interview.
Yeah, I've known Andrew for many, many years. I've known Andrew since before Andrew was Andrew. You know what I mean? I've known Andrew
Are they real friends?
since before he was famous, I guess. Andrew is a great guy. He really is, and he's a wonderful guy in many ways.
They didn't teach you in self-defense? Here's a little move. When I grab you by your neck and you start annoying me trying to resist, and I just... And then I grab you by your neck again, and you start annoying me trying to resist, and I just...
You can't fight.
Disrespectful and gay.
That's how you throw punches. You can't fight.
Move. When I grab you by your neck and you start annoying me trying to resist, and I just... And then I grab you by your neck again. Then what the fuck are you gonna do when your face is collapsed and your fucking cheekbone's broken? You ain't gonna do shit but cry. I guarantee I changed the way you look at sex forever. You're gonna be fucking crying. I won't cry. I bet you cry, bitch. I bet you fucking cry. You're saying I wouldn't
Sounds creepy. Sounds like he's on backdoor badness still. It's not really my cup of tea.
cry. You're challenging me to a fight. You're saying I can't hurt you. You're out of your fucking mind? I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No sex. No sex involved. But you cry then. I perfected this in pimp school. When I got my PhD, we had to practice if a girl comes at you. You cheated. You're cheating. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch! Her panties get wet. Machete's on the floor. Her panties are all wet. You go, fuck her. That's how it goes. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
As I was having this dinner with my husband and his friend, Andrew Tate was there. I had no idea
Hey, you're right, Bobby.
who he was. This is kind of before he really took off on the internet. I had my assistant at the time with me who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States. She spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him. She comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania.
I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania.
By taking girls who didn't know how to be effective on webcam, girls who had never done webcam before, girls who didn't have the equipment, didn't have the know-how, didn't have the will, didn't have the premises, didn't have the ability to make money with this exchange.
Off camera, I think he would be the first person to admit that. Like, he's a flawed human being.
I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this, allowed me to retain 100% control of their income.
Convince is crazy.
I know how to make sure the girl can't run away.
I know Andrew pretty well, and like, you know, as I said, I know that he's full of flaws.
The newest one that has emerged is definitely my favorite. That Andrew Tate has blackmail on you. It's just like,
Top G.
where did the top G's got blackmail on you? They're like, this is why. I'm like, what is anybody? Where did the top
Rose moving guilty.
Andrew Tate has blackmail on you? It's just like,
Top G.
where did the top G's got blackmail on you? They're like, this is why.
No eye contact. He looks guilty. I'm sorry.
I'm like, what is anybody ever talking about? I can count, I literally think on 5 fingers how many times I've even met Andrew Tate. 2 of them were the times I was interviewing him. Once at the Trump Hotel. I think it's 4. I think the total number is 4. Yeah, it's crazy. And so they think that they've developed this whole thing where like he's known you your whole life and he knows where all the bodies are buried. I'm like, people on the internet are mad, but I love a good conspiracy theory, so I love to read them about myself, especially.
Like, he hasn't told me if he has.
If he does,
maybe he does.
Andrew Tate, also, if you are watching and you have a blackmail file on us, please let us know, okay?
Exactly.
Don't let randos on the internet know about that. But it is one of the things that I think has made our relationship so strong is our ability to laugh at it, because you could not survive this life if you did not have a sense of humor. People coming up every day with a new theory, constantly lying, but somehow if you put it on the internet, it must be true.
This reporter you named, who I don't even know who she is, that's how insignificant she is.
Mm-hmm.
People like them can't stand the fact that when he says grab her by the
vampire vibes is crazy.
Like so.
I literally couldn't have cared less about that.
So?
Like, this is like locker room talk.
This nigga, look, they got the same shoes on. This nigga with the barefoot and shoes shit, man.
Yeah, who cares? I was like, what do you mean you don't care? It's like, I don't care. And I became a multi-millionaire. I did this by creating a webcam studio, by taking girls who didn't know how to be effective on webcam, girls who had never done webcam before, girls who didn't have the equipment, didn't have the know-how, didn't have the will, didn't have the premises, didn't have the ability to make money with this exchange. I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this, allowed me to retain 100% control of their income, allowed me to make sure they were effective, because it's a super competitive industry. Don't think this is easy money. You're just going to put a girl on the camera and they're going to get rich straight away. No, it's very competitive and it's very difficult. I learned every tip and trick it takes to make sure a girl gets paid. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away. Because once you teach a girl how to do this, she has the ability to make unlimited money from home. Why would she still give it to you? Why would she just run off and keep it all for herself? Why are you getting your percentage? I learned how to do everything to take a nobody and make her a somebody. I learned how to take a nothing, turn her into a cash cow. And betas from all across the world would be sending money into my bank account.
Mind games.
This is what webcamming is.
Dark and corrupt, evil and